Hello and welcome to a run of Malti in Italy, Sardinia, in the 306 Maxi. I will do my best to commentate over the run. Here we go. Second gear start, easiest for traction, gives you a good acceleration but also doesn't spin up the tires too much. Wait for the lights, revs, and go. Upshift to third gear as soon as the revs start building up and as soon as you start getting onto pace with the car. Got to just dab the brakes a little bit for the front wheel drive cars because they do tend to understeer quite a bit. Try and carry as much momentum into the corners as possible. Use the handbrake to sort of rotate the car if you can, but as you can see with the steering lock you've got to be very liberal. It's a very good idea to keep the wheel straight as possible as soon as you can after the corners, because that traction is very, very important, and you've got a limited amount of it, so you've got to be extremely careful about how you use it. Tend to find flicks of the wheel don't really work too well at high speed, so you've got to be quite cautious and quite smooth actually once you start getting up to fourth gear and above. Into handbrake here. Early downshift, get the weight transferred, keep on the brakes as much as possible, and then through the corner, get the wheel straightened out once again and floor it. Sometimes you do have to use wheel spin to your advantage. Onto the high speed stuff now. Spot the braking zones, it's very, very important, as there's no sort of handbrake and power on to save you really, like in a rear wheel drive car. Sometimes slow in is much better than fast in because you can get the power down early, and that does matter quite a bit in these cars. 306 very good at going through bushes apparently, but we will take it. Difficulty with this stage is it's sandy surface. It is very, very difficult to get any sort of traction on here, and you will find on some of the gravelly stages the car will be significantly easier to drive than on this stage, but that's the challenge of it. Important to listen to the pace notes more than ever in these cars, just because of the fact I mentioned after. The slow speed section, you've got no room for error, as you can see. Fighting with the wheel every single stage, and sometimes you can use the side of the road with the grass to actually spin up the wheels and gain you a little bit of extra traction and grip just from the engine being able to rev freely. Clutch kicks can work quite well in this car, and definitely maintaining the engine revs as well with a little bit of braking but also throttle while you're braking can work very well. It's a technique used with turbo cars, but actually works quite well with these cars, seeing as they are front-wheel drive. A little bit too early on the brakes there as we go for... Nope, we're not going for a spin. Everything's fine. But you can see how quickly it can get out of hand with all of the weight on the front, because apart from a spare tire, this car is basically nothing in the rear. A little bit of a handbrake turn there once again. But you can see you've got to be frantic to control the car at low speeds. You've just got to force it to do what you want, and that can be really, really tricky. And into this very sort of medium to low speed end to this stage, you've got to know exactly where you're going. And the one big thing about Italy is the blind crests as well, so stage knowledge very useful, and indeed the tyre wear can also be incredibly high with these front-wheel drive cars. So you might also, if you're doing a rally, want to develop a setup that's easier on the tyres or better with the harder compound tyres in terms of balance on the car, because with the softer compound tyres, the grip can easily fade away, as I can already feel the front tyres are not liking this whatsoever. Feel free to take out the sponsorship boards, no worries. I'm sure nobody will notice, right? And then into the final sections of this stage, try and keep to the inside as much as possible. Use that little bit of grass on the inside, which surprisingly has quite a bit of grip. And then onto the tarmac right at the end, turn it in, get just the left side of the wall and across the line. That is the Maltese stage. And we completed it in a time of 4:34, 6 seconds off of my best, but that was with that little bit of a mistake. And as you can see, with my best run, I do have the world record on this stage, but that run would have been better than the third best stage time, so a top 3 time overall. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the chaos of the last half of that run. And yeah, see you all in the next one. Thank you ever so much for watching, and bye bye for now.